Sorry. Um, computer issues. It just like died on me, and I'm so sorry about that. I guess it's a good thing because part two now. Huzzah! All right, let's get back to the this fun stuff.
Get in girl and tell me wife to put a pie in it.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not arguing that this is high art or super stimulating, but it is very fun, can't lie. And it's all worth it when in the baseball game, after multiple attempts of playing properly and not being able to hit a single home run, you give up and do this. Or when you get a knockout in the boxing game and your action replay catches the very moment when you're in too deep and you think you're actually protecting your family from a man in the house. There's an updated version of Kung Fu, a robot monkey puzzle game that's really fun, and then there's deeper mini games that have micro games within the main mini game, like the cooking one where you have to match up every order on the ticket correctly, but then if you run out of batches or make too many mistakes, you then have to go to micro games to create the missing ingredients as fast as possible before the day ends, all under the umbrella of a game called Mr. Chef.
Oh,
sorry. You caught me in the middle of eating a sandwich. That's my name. Sandwich.
I challenge you to a cook-off.
wait.
Well, then let's go, bitch.
You have beaten me, but I wasn't even trying.
There's even a really fun secret agent game where you need to stay as still as possible when the searchlights are on you while solving puzzles under a time limit. Look at me go. I'm not the Burger King, I'm the Burglar King. EyeToy Play 2 is a good ride.
10 out
Do
of
it
4.
again. Even that slightly jank building game where you can't hammer nails in straight and you've got to smash a wall in.
Sell their houses to who? Aquaman?
And with that, Jim exposes himself as not only a racist, but a plagiarist, which is worse. He stole that bit from vastly more successful and popular YouTuber, H-Bomber Guy. And this isn't a one-off mistake. It's a consistent pattern of behavior. Is there a car going past? Extending to Twitter, where he blatantly copied a viral tweet H-Bomb made word for word. And he thought he could get away with it, just because he made it before me. The cur. So I ask you, please, unsubscribe from Caddicarus. Think twice about everything you consume on YouTube. And Disney, move. Disney, move. Disney, move.
Disney, move!
Nice segue.
No! Move out of the way, Disney, move! It's a national speed limit! You're the star. The actor is you. Fun, fun, fun everywhere, as seen on TV.
Where? Oh. There.
What do we have here then? 15 Disney characters, 6 Disney worlds, 3 levels of difficulty. Expect the unexpected explosions.
Michael Bay.
Obama?
Immediately what sticks out to me about Disney Move is just how utterly barren and empty it is to the deep, rotting, dejected core. Every single millimeter of it, from the front of the box to the loading screens, to the menus, to the music, to the minigame backgrounds, to the transitions of still images whenever they explain what's going on in tutorials, to the font, to the inane simplicity of the minigames, to the indecisiveness of this being a black pirate or a white pirate, is dull. It is so dull. It's drab, it's tired, it's dreary, it's monotonous, it's lame, it's dismal, and many other words that you can find in today's video's sponsor, a thesaurus. I wish I had something more to say or more jokes to poke at it, but I just can't. Can you make a joke about the back of the box being mostly white space? Microsoft Word looking bitch. I'm mostly just shocked that this is from Disney and not IKEA. During the ghost catching minigame, the cameras you use in it managed to capture the essence of how I felt about the whole thing. For Christ's sake, in the Aladdin's carpet game, which simply doesn't work, I got munted by at least 7 melons and kept falling off the carpet, and yet I still won. What is this game?
Lilo and Stitch Music Band.
Lilo and Stitch Music Band? What other kind of band? An elastic band?
I'd go as far as to call it a mess, but it doesn't even spread itself far enough to leave anything behind on the mattress. It's just a nothing game. An empty, nothing game from Disney of all people.
For
I was
shame.
expecting more from a game that was promising me that I could beat Donald Duck. Disney move with your Asda Smart Price box and your incorrect script.
Haunted Mansion. That's not what the words say.
I say, move. This is one of the worst games I've ever played. Not even kidding. Not because it's incompetent or anything, but because it's just so dull and inept. It's an exhausted sitting down of a game. It's an outward breath. And I can't believe with all the resources and money that Disney have, they didn't do anything cool with it. However, though, I do have to be fair, I kinda like... Unexpected explosion. Hey, you with the PlayStation 2. Who? Yes,
Me?
you. Yes, you. You think you bought a video game system to play a video game?
Yeah?
Well, I mean... No! You bought it to learn! EyeToy Educate! You will be taught the number 4! Backwards! You will be taught octopus! You will be taught toenails! You will have material to have fun studying with! Hail, falling for Kang Me. Get rid of the bonus game! Love Cafe! Clam multiplication table! Mounting a mobile! Have trouble understanding numbers? Multiplication tables are difficult? Learn! Oh my god, look at this. It's a 2005 Korean Christmas catalogue for the PS2. What a trip. Even though I can't understand what the writing says, I still feel nostalgic looking through this. And in fairness, even if the Katamari section was in English, it still wouldn't make any sense. Oh man, look! They even have my favourite PlayStation 2 game, Racket Clank Tool Warrior College. You know how they say AI is the future? This may be an educational game, but they've actually given us a story. And that is that one day, a young girl had leaves for hair, so she told her brother how great it was to have foliage coming out of your head, so he decided to push a clover out and then a book ate them. And so it's your job to complete a load of educational games within the book, like this math equations game that I am great at. It's not my fault. Numbers are different in Korean. You can also do some matching color games, simultaneous rhythm and pattern memory games, simultaneous weight and number matching games, learning the best time to take a pair of breets off the stove so they don't burn games, and games where you're navigating a maze with a monkey that uses your fetid old face to react to smacking into a rock and then relieving himself on top of a clam. I'm gonna complain about this actually. Where's customer services?
You've dialed an incorrect number. Please check the number and try again.
You're not Korean. Okay, I forgot that foreign countries have an area code. I'm gonna add in the area code for Korea and try again. It ended immediately. Okay, how about the Korean dialing code, but without the 0?
You've dialed an incorrect number.
Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and try your call again.
Okay.
The new BTS single sounds great. Are you still rolling?
Yeah.
Why did it give me 2 different responses?
There was the same number as the first one, right?
There's a conspiracy.
And that one was American.
America and Korea, one in the same. Does Korea even exist?
I mean...
Who's to say? You know something? We really take mobile phones for granted. Back before the days of screens in your pocket being used to see someone else's live video instantly, and that using more data in 1 second than every computer combined to get 3 men on the moon 50 years ago. This is what people had to degrade themselves to do just to be able to see someone else not in the same house. EyeToy Chat. The broadband communicator. Yeah, you call it broadband, but I remember it. You go on Google Images and search for a hot lady, and then after 25 seconds of waiting, you'd see her ankle. Sadly, all of the PS2's official online servers have shut. It wasn't even a clear picture. Have shut down, meaning that now this game is nothing more than an elaborate method of fixing a wobbly table in a restaurant. But you've got to respect the history, man. Look at this. You know it's going to be good when all the text is completely clear on the box except for the 3 main bullet points. And hey, even if it doesn't work anymore, at least these guys had a great time with it.
Yeah.
To reiterate, though, yeah,
Sorry,
the software
Caddy.
itself is totally worthless aside from just looking at options menus, testing a connection that doesn't exist, and writing your name into the system. Sunk. This is great! But enough about that. Next up, we've got EyeToy Tales, another one of the extremely rare Korean-only PS2 EyeToy games, and the most expensive game I ended up picking up for this video. So you know what that means? Yes, I'm afraid it's got to go. Lovely thumb.
Hello, dearie. I'm the little old lady that lives in the knee.
There is a lot to digest in this cover, for sure. And I know you're expecting me to immediately make a joke about this pig's arms looking like wonkers, but what kind of immature cretin do you think I am? I'm not gonna make that joke. The cover already made that joke for me, because that's just outright a knob. I'm sorry, the pig walks around on knobs. My mind isn't in the gutter. What else does this look like? I bet I'm the only person in the world that's risking a YouTube age restriction or video deletion from showing the leg of a cartoon pig. This is a fairy tale based educational tool for very young Korean kids learning English, which means 3 things. 1, I can understand it great because I'm from the place that invented English. 2, I don't need to play the minigames because I can spell.
Bum rule.
And 3, I've got absolutely nothing I can script. The game and my reactions speak for themselves. So please enjoy, because I did.
I can already tell this is going to be great. How's the voice going to be?
Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs.
Caddy,
Gaming
stop.
in the Clinton years. George Wood, is that you?
Final Fantasy III. Get it or die.
Their mother told them to leave home because they
weren't bringing home girls. Their mother had also just spent all her child maintenance on swapping her hands with oven gloves.
Before they left, she said,
Before they left.
He will try to eat you.
Wow, you couldn't sound a bit more concerned, could you? Holy shit. Dude's got teeth right in the back of his jaw there. Whenever he closes his mouth, it eats itself. What's the fun?
I am a cloud. My name is Rabbit.
No!
Hi, Rabbit.
Your name's not Rabbit. No, where's the cloud?
I am a cloud. Build strong houses. Then you will always be safe from the wolf.
Can Rabbit talk? Oh no.
Strong houses.
So, okay. What is it? What's it? You're reminding that.
My name is Rabbit.
Wait. What is it that you've got to remind your kids to do? Was it strong houses they needed? What was it?
Strong houses.
No, strong housing.
The first pig thought the straw would make a good house.
And at school, he got the worst grades.
Easy to build a house.
Yeah, it is. Look at this NWA shit.
Easy to destroy the house.
Oh, owned. You got pwned, man. Bitch.
It's the wolf.
Not by the hair of my chinny chin.
No, no, no.
Why does your voice keep changing?
And I'll blow your house in.
Is it in or down?
This is great. This is a great game.
This is my favorite game of all time. Key word of the day. Blow.
So the wolf blew the house down and ate the first little pig.
Hang on. Okay. What?
I mean, that's what happened in the original
The second
story.
little pig thought the sticks would make a good house.
And then the pig tried to make a fireplace, and then he realized his whole house was the fireplace and blew up.
And I'll blow your house in.
How's this gonna look? Go! Kill the bitch! Oh, we're in mid-action shot. I like the direction you're taking the story,
The
EyeToy
birdie.
Tales.
Touch the
This
birdie.
is very Christopher Nolan. What's the bet I'm gonna wave on this bird? It's gonna say, "Hello, I'm Bird."
Bird.
That's even better. And so later that night, the wolf had a spit roast. Hey kids, you know where hot dogs come from? You guessed it. The 3 little pigs.
And built a house of bricks.
That's a washing machine.
The pig heard a knock at the door.
So he should come from that. No, he came from there. So as a Korean boy myself, I would be really confused because the wolf absolutely knocked on the mound, and now I'm gonna forever spend my life thinking that that's a door.
It's the wolf.
Wait, what's gonna happen if I? Oh.
Hey, I am a mountain. Hey, I am a mountain.
What can I make? What else is there? Is that it? Was the only thing interactable in this scene the giant rock that talks like Patrick from SpongeBob? The rat. What's the rat got to say?
I am a mouse.
Why is his voice
You're
so
expecting
deep?
miracles out of me. I have been standing here on this story for like half an hour, and I'm not doing anything active. I'm just planting myself on my feet on a flat floor. How are kids supposed to be okay with this? What can I do? Can the tree do something? Oh,
Basket. That's my name.
I think I blew my lungs out a couple of minutes ago.
Basket. That's my name.
Don't hurt me, please. I'm just a basket.
Then he saw the big bad wolf coming.
Then he saw the bad wolf. What the hell is that?
Squirrel. That's me.
How are the apples?
I'm sorry.
Can we just have a game by these people where they just name objects and animals? Why has the pig now turned into a JCB?
I am a leaf.
The one thing that the pig didn't consider. The hole in his roof.
When the wolf was coming down the chimney, the pig took the cover off the pot.
Oh, what a bastard.
The wolf fell into the boiling water.
Do we see it?
Oh.
The real question now is, do we get to have fun with this scene? We do! Yeah, burn the wolf, baby! Burn him!
Burn, baby, burn.
I'm
Disco
fire.
and burn up.
Have I just lost my shit, or did that just say, I'm fire?
And the pig lived happily ever after.
Just
Except
brothers
his two
died.
other brothers and his sad, grieving mother. The end.
Why am I playing this? This ain't no EyeToy Tales. Am I playing Doo-Doo Tales? Oh, I am. And much like the other Korean game, there's also a catalogue of upcoming PS2 games in here, like Ghost Spirit and the world-beloved Sly Cooper 2, Prayer Brothers Daijongji, which immediately follows after the first Sly Cooper, where you stole the world's joy.
Okay.
We are halfway through the complete library of EyeToy exclusive games for the PS2. So just for a little bit of a fun aside, why don't we take a look at a game that was enhanced by the EyeToy? Oh yes, much like with Kinect, EyeToy wasn't afraid to shove itself into gaps it couldn't fit in because it was compatible with a fair amount of random PS2 titles that usually meant it was only used for motion-controlled mini-games in a side menu, like with Harry Popoff and the Prisoner of Cockoff, and I would love to give that one a go, but to be completely honest, this video is long enough as it is, and after the last time a Harry Potter game told me to use a camera, I should never be allowed to do that again. Sometimes the camera was compatible even just for microphone use, but occasionally, only occasionally, it was used for something truly special, like, for instance, with This Is Football.
That's not a football.
No, it isn't. Why I chose to show off a lame, smelly football, though, instead of something more whimsical like Harry Potter, is because in the 2005 edition of TIFF specifically, the EyeToy allows you to add your face and literally any other face, which then can be used to make your own custom players within the game. The results were not as bad as I was expecting.
Okay.
This is impressive. Dude, you are looking fine. Don't look at me ever again. And I tried, oh god, I tried to make my own custom team featuring me, my childhood self, my dog, Michael Jackson, Gandhi, Mr. Beast, a bad police sketch, Jack 2, Geddy Lee, Prince Philip, and Mater. But after 45 minutes of trying, I'm sorry, I just could not make it recognize them. Look, I even managed to get away with this as a legitimate face with working eyes and a mouth, with the results looking like... And yet, despite that, no matter what I did, it did not recognize Michael Jackson as a real face, which is fair, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. I guess we'll just have to stick with these two. They are Cadink and Cadonk, and they are too good for the England team, so I'm just going to rename the England team to how it's supposed to be spelled. England, innit? Good afternoon, all, and here we go. What a day to have a football match. The sun is out, the pitch is green, and it's the highly anticipated quarter-final game of the season. Wales versus England, innit? Our home team boys are revved up and raring to go after their recent successful string of games ever since the manager was recently fired and replaced with an owl. But he has made the very controversial decision to hire two up-and-coming unknowns, Cadink in centre midfield and Cadonk in goal. Cadink's technique is unlike any other footballer I've seen before, choosing to run after the ball, ignoring all sense, and then keeping it all to himself for as long as he can, just so he can score a goal all on his own and show his mum. Maybe one day she will finally let him make his own lunch. He's going for the goal, he's getting close, get it in, get it in, get it in. Oh, he muffed it! What kind of kick was that? He didn't even try. Now possession has moved over to Wales as they take a pass over to our shot, and what a save by Cadonk in goal. A very close shave indeed, and he let it in anyway. What a massive prick. No matter though, nothing phases the young upstart Cadonk, as right after missing his goal, he got straight back up and walked around in a little circle like a sim looking for the toilet. Back on the pitch, the ball is staying in possession with Wales for a long time, and that's clearly upset the other teammates of England in it, because disaster on the grass! It's a disaster! The referee has whacked out his red card for an illegal tackle from Michael Owen, who just didn't like that Wales had the ball at all and decided to do a leaping judo kick into another player that didn't even have the ball. This will certainly go to a free kick, but the punishment for Owen will not be too harsh because the guy he kicked was indeed Welsh. A successful free kick from Wales, but unbeknownst to everyone, Cadink was waiting uncomfortably close to the man the ball was aimed at, and with a flick of the wrist, the Welsh player is bowled over. And wait, could it be? Yes, it's a strike for the Welsh team, and possession is back with Cadink, who will continue to hog the ball until his next goal kick attempt, which wasn't even close. England in it are trailing behind on 1-0, so they need to step up. Their next strategy seems to be passing the ball back towards their end of the pitch, but it appears the losing team's patience is up because Cadonk has left the goal in an unprecedented move, likely inspired by his fellow player Cadink. Cadonk has decided the ball is now his and is refusing to pass it. He's going for a kick. He thinks he can land it in the net from here, but of course he can't. Why would he think he could? And he'll have to sprint as fast as he can back to the goal! Cadink has the ball yet again, and all anyone can wonder is how nobody else is getting the ball before he is. And as is tradition with all his other games prior to this one, he keeps hold of the ball until the half-time whistle, at which point he gives up and heads for Tesco's. With Cadink absent from the first few minutes of the second half, England in it seem to be getting their shit together and actually playing the game properly, until Wayne Rooney foolishly passes the ball back to who he thought was Beckham, but instead was Cadink, the dickless wonder. He had to leave his Tesco shop behind because he couldn't afford it without his club card, which he left in his other shorts. A dark day in the footballing world when a Premier League player can't afford a meal deal. Wales seem to be stepping up their game too, and within 2 minutes they have already tried for 3 goal shots, 2 of which were not intercepted by Cadonk. He didn't save them, he just tried to jump towards them, and the third shot not even being good enough for him, as he doesn't even try to stop the ball and takes a step back with his hands in the air like he just don't care. Cadonk famously does not like conflict, and the last thing a team losing 2-0 needs is a ball that is angry with the goalkeeper. goalkeeper. Caddicarus once again back with the ball and appearing to perform the river dance with it, causing every player around him to just stop going near him. They can all respect the performing arts when circumstances permit. Sadly, that is it. The game is over. But in an unorthodox twist, the ref has decided that a red card means play another game right after the first. How extraordinary. And Caddicarus can barely believe it. He has turned purple. He's not breathing. So the next game will have to be at least half the length. Straight away within the first 5 minutes of play, Wales have once again proven they can kick the ball and are ahead by 1 point, which has majorly upset the manager of England in it. Owl. Between games, the England Innit team seem to have muddled together a new strategy to try out now that it's nearly half-time and they have nothing to lose. They will actually play football properly for ages and ages until everyone is exhausted from running around, and then by that time, Caddicarus can take the ball and basically walk it into the net. It's a risky move, but it's worth a shot. Is he gonna do it? Could it be now? Are the odds in favour for the underdog? He's going for it. He shoots, and it's in! He finally did it after 2.5 hours of football. That was a ball that went into, yes, you guessed it, a net. Look at the elation on his face. He is about to take off to Spain, and oh, he's working the crowd and giving them the dink. He knows they all want it, and he has 18 dinks. A promising career is ahead for Caddicarus based on that performance just then and nothing else he's ever done. If England in it can keep up, then maybe they'll finally be able to afford some more wig glue for Caddicarus that doesn't peel off his head. So ultimately, even though I did miss out on seeing His Royal Highness kicking it around one last time on the PS2 with his incompatible zombie face, this is one of the best ideas ever, and you all need to get a PS2 and EyeToy camera and This Is Football 2005 and do it.
Hi everyone, it's me, Caddicarus, and I'm the angriest gamer on YouTube. Ooh, Sonic 06 makes me mad! But nobody will subscribe to me, I don't know what.
Okay, tangent over. I could go on about all of the EyeToy enhanced games for the rest of this video, but we would be here all year. We need to get back on focus and stick on the EyeToy exclusives. So, with that being said, what's in this box? This game is... I'm not gonna say it. It's another Japanese exclusive, and you can tell it's Japanese because it's written in Japanese. I'm pretty sure it's called Cam Station, and I would whip out my Google to see what it thinks, but no amount of words could help me understand what it is I'm looking at. Now, this is a bit exciting. Cam Station comes with everything you need for it in its own special box. Look, you get the game, you get the camera, you get a headset, you get a controller, you get a PS2, you get an electric screwdriver, you get another boxed copy of Cam Station, and then in that box you get a controller, you get a PS2, you get a PS2, you get a PS2, and you get corn everywhere! But then, there's something sad. The headset that came with this game is indeed from 2005, and maybe I just don't know much about headset anatomy.
Okay, I don't know why this is off. Like, it makes me sad that it's off for like half a second.
But I didn't realize that when they got to 19 years old, their skin starts coming off and they start melting. I don't know what's going on. Is it growing out of a cocoon? And if it couldn't get any worse, for something even more sad, I was expecting to at least get to some menus in the game so I could look at more screaming golf balls and dogs that have been held hostage, but sadly, I couldn't even get past these two screens. All they did was play text pong with each other, back and forth until the heat death of all that you love. But why can't we go any further? What exactly are these tomes trying to tell us? I can't read Japanese. If only I could get a real Japanese person in the room with me right now to help. Oh my god! I can't believe how lucky I am. Look everybody, it's the world famous singer-songwriter Japanese woman Yoko Ono. Hello, I'm Yoko Ono. I miss John Lennon. We all do. Say, how's the music going? Oh, you know, loud. Well, that sounds great. Can you give us a little taste? No. So according to her...
Okay, hold on. This is gonna bug me for like half a second. I really wish I could, music on. I'm at 126. Alright, we're almost done. Got like 40 minutes.
Oh my god!
Okay, there we go.
I can't believe how lucky I am. Look, everybody, it's the world-famous singer-songwriter Japanese woman Yoko Ono.
Hello, I'm Yoko Ono. I miss John Lennon.
We all do. Say, how's the music going?
Oh, you know, loud.
Well, that sounds great. Can you give us a little taste?
No.
So according to her, basically what these screens are is saying that we can't physically go any further with this game until we have a PS2 BB unit attached. No, not that one, a broadband unit, which I don't have. Bye! So instead, let's move on to something a lot nicer to look at. A game with two names in one, Yeti Sports, or a punchline to a joke from 1406. What did the man in the cellar say to the other man who came down his cellar and asked him if those bottles there were ports? Yee, 'tis ports. Now listen, I know it's really hard to ignore the horrible, awful British man in the middle, but don't worry, I figured out the intent behind everything on this cover.
Okay.
Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Is this game a shitpost? I'm actually convinced it is, not just from the cover or the title, but the back as well. The first screenshot is of a minigame with 0 points and 0 time on the counter before it even began. The third screenshot is of a nightmare during the peak of a fever, and the second screenshot is of a HD man with a look of abject terror on his face as his middle finger got cut off while playing Yeti volleyball. Don't worry, man, you won't need a finger for every game. I'm sure you can play another one of the other 6 party games. Please sit back for a moment and observe my live reactions to the game first booting up and playing the menu music at me. Did I die?
What?
Now, I feel as though we are seriously scraping with this one, if it wasn't clear enough already.
Okay.
Not only do you have more and more of the exact same bull as we've already seen before, with hitting things back coming towards you, playing baseball and moving around with your arms extended, R.I.P. Big J, but it also goes out of its way to not go out of its way, and the lag across the whole thing makes playing every minigame completely impossible. Just look at the state of baseball. In the first attempt, I didn't hit the penguin at all when I absolutely should have done. But look what happens even when I do manage to hit the penguin. Playing Yeti Sports is like calling someone down for dinner and then they don't appear for a minute and a half. You make a move and then just nothing happens until the game solves a quadratic equation before doing the move. I can't give you anything else, Yeti Sports. I know you need more, but I can't provide it. I'm stretched too thin. I have bills. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, the camera looks like phlegm on toast, but it doesn't. I focused it through the game's own focus menu. Yeti Sports just does this to the camera. The game itself makes the camera uglier. Was the idea to make me look as fuzzy as the body outline here, because it is working. I look like the missing link. Look at my teeth. Why are they that color? It looks like I'm eating a mango. What have you got to say for yourself, Yeti Sports?
Okay.
Now,
yes.
Here's a question. What do these two have in common? That's right. They're video games, just like this one. With special thanks to Nike Motion Works, here we have EyeToy Connect. Oh, wait, sorry, that's another thing. Apologies for the confusion. This mistake will not be made again. This is a game for keeping fit, and it's going to read your body movements to help you get your exercise in. I remember the last time a game told me it would do that.
Yeah, I disappeared. Mel, where have I gone?
Don't worry though, it's going to cover all the main areas. Cardio, combat, toning, minge body. The game even comes packaged with a new fancy wide-angle lens to stick on your current camera so that it can see your whole body.
Oh.
I've got to hand it to this game so far. For PS2, it looks really good. I've played Xbox 360 games that look as good as this. It's just a shame that it's all for a game about exercise. It's okay though, I'm ready. My name is Fit Buff. I'm 8'1", I'm 96, and I weigh 2 pounds. Now hold it. Yeah. Now, I wish I could have some fun with this in the same vein as Get Fit with Melb, but since the EyeToy camera itself isn't quite as advanced as Kinect, it's a little limited with interacting with the world around you.
It's okay though. whatever the game has in store for me, I'm ready.
All right.
I like to keep fit in my own time. Because you see, when you...
Ow.
Not to mention, this game isn't designed for fun. It's designed to be a real side companion to your personal fitness journey. And I couldn't find any way to play these minigames without actually committing to a weekly regime that only changes the activities based on the internal clock as it cycles through each day of the week.
Okay. You're stuck.
You've heard about EyeToy? Well, now get ready for SpyToy, where you can be the ultimate agent. And there is a lot to take in, but if you look at the back of the box, that's where you'll discover the game was developed by an Epson printer.
Now this is something I'll have no problem getting into. Spy stuff is my jam.
Is it?
You know, I'm actually a spy in my spare time as well.
Are you?
Egads! There I am!
Now for shooting.
Where did he go?
You know the most interesting part of SpyToy right out of the box? That it comes pre-packaged with a security system. You think I'm kidding? For starters, you can actually set your face as a password to get into the main game, which is sick.
Are you serious?
Alert, it does work when you start the main game later. Apple Face ID? Too unreliable. I've got a new phone now, don't need you, and in a few years there'll be an update where you can text. Then on top of that, if you decide to stop playing the main game at any point, you can set up the camera to detect motion in specific places around the room, and the game will then snap pictures of whatever it catches. You can turn off your TV, pretend the console is off, and then take pictures of people without their consent. This is a game for kids. I suppose the idea is that it's supposed to capture your little brother or sister stealing your Pokemon cards, but my guess is that it mostly ended up catching mums picking up dirty pants all around the bedroom. Thing is though, if you turn your TV off, then you miss out on the custom alerts that you can make when it does catch something. That'll teach you. There's also this strange background removal tool which has nothing to do with spies or toys. Why is this a part of the game? So, funny story on my way here to... night. If you ever wanted to take the luxurious holiday of your dreams without your wallet having a nightmare, well, here at Feces Airlines, we pride ourselves on the best holiday packages at the best possible prices. With discount rates to New York to see the taxis, Australia to see the Sydney Opera House, and Germany to see the German building. These destinations and at least 2 others are available on our website, Feces Airlines. Holidays that'll leave a mark. Onto the main game we go, and whenever I tried to type in my name, for some reason all of the Russian hackers got in and kept picking letters that I just actually wasn't picking. Look, I'm not doing anything. Why is it picking H over and over again? I can't be asked to fight this. I'm just gonna be...
It's genius, really. Because, like, if you're ever captured or interrogated and they keep asking your name, you'll be going... and they'll just think you're running out of air when actually you are telling them your name. So they don't realise that they're getting the info they want. Wait, but then that means that they think that...
You're lying.
Hang
They'll
on,
torture
wait.
you.
Because if they think that that's your name when you're actually running out of air, then they're going to keep doing it until you do run out of... I didn't think about this, did I?
Once the main game itself starts, it's basically just a load of one-off missions involving you trying to capture man-geese that involve playing the same kinds of mini-games, but at slightly harder difficulties for each goose that you catch. Speaking of, when he was a baby, what happened? Did his uncle sit on his head? Why does he look like this?
You've decrypted these images. of a French scientist.
Oh, that explains it. So this means 1 second you'll be decoding symbols with a weird shape you'll need to work out how to turn. Then you'll be
D20.
skydiving from a plane to land safely on headquarters. Then you'll be defusing a bomb by timing these weird injection things into a shaky shape. Is it wrong to say I actually like this? Because I do. It's kind of fun. I'm actually enjoying this and I want to keep going. It works really well and has a great style to it, but god damn, I just can't keep looking at these crims. They're too off-putting for me. They really freak me out. These eggs with receding hairlines.
However, I saved the best for last.
Oh.
Because there's a mode in this game that allows you to use all 240p's of the camera.
Yeah, it turns out all this time we weren't even using the full potential of the EyeToy. This is how it looks raw and uncut, and it looks a bit better than I thought it would. The frame rate tanks, but it doesn't matter. You can even use the controller to zoom really far into wherever you point the cursor at. I saved this on my memory card. And one day, many years in the future, long after I'm gone, somebody will find it. And then you'll have to run. Being a spy is stressful.
Is it?
So I'm gonna have more baby playtime with EyeToy Play 3. Oh my god, what's that? Includes mega bonus disc? Shitting yes, what's on it? Yes! I can play them again. In smaller, bite-sized versions. This is also the 7th game in this video so far made by London Studio, PlayStation's London development team, and where most of the EyeToy library was made. You know, now that I think about it, this camera was initially released for Europe only to see how it performed, hence the London development team, which is probably why most people I meet don't know what the hell this thing is whenever I bring it up. In fact, looking into it, out of all 28 games made for the EyeToy, only 8 of them came out in America. This is all starting to make sense now. I was wondering why everyone I met who hadn't heard of EyeToy was holding a Twinkie and an AR-15. What can I say about EyeToy Play 3 that I haven't said about EyeToy Play 2 that I haven't said about EyeToy Play 1? Easy. It has a face-swapping mode.
Oh.
Me and my fiancé will never have a child. Here's a side mode about standing still.
I hear insects.
Look, vermin. What Play 3 does do to avoid feeling like the same game again, though, is pretty smart. It gives your living room legs. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. And it also gives you less actual themes of game to choose from, but then potatoes up the meat by splitting those themed games up into multiple mini-games. So like, instead of getting bored just playing drums for a game on its own, or just playing guitar, or just playing trombone, now you're thrown back and forth between all of them at the same time in one game, so that you can finally be Jim and the Jims, which then also gets further split up with a bodyguarding minigame against rabid fans rushing the stage. And let's just say, my band attracts a type. The same applies to all of the games on Play 3, including the hair salon one featuring nail chewing, sports games featuring a very unfortunate pose.
No!
The Army Cadet game featuring the most rigorous of training regimes, such as copying what your friend is doing.
Seems more like monkey see, monkey do.
And even to the extent of the conducting game, featuring me in 20 years. You did great, by the way. Take a bow in the outline. You do have to be careful when playing the army game, though, because if someone walks by your window in the afternoon, then it looks a little bit like... I think I prefer Play 2 across the Play trilogy, but this isn't a bad casual game at all, and probably the best made Play game for the minigames centered around one player. And before you all start laughing at me for how I look in the DJ game, think twice about that, because that is bullying. We can't help how we look. I legit had more fun with the bowling game here than I did with Wii Bowling, even if I did have to look at this guy's sweaty card reader. Yes, it's more of the same. Yes, I'm getting sick of looking at myself. Yes, I still hate this little bastard's voice.
Wait!
But so what? I still had fun with it, and it works well. I don't have anything else to say. It's EyeToy Play again, but this happens sometimes. So right now, I'm going to transition over to the next game while the music I made on the EyeToy theremin plays in the background. Now here we have a total anomaly. It's a Japanese-developed, motion camera-based, PS2 only rhythm game by Namco that's European exclusive.
Namco!
I know it just sounds like I've made all of that up, but I promise you, I didn't. This is Rhythmic Star, and the more I look at it and the more I think about it, the less sense it begins to make. I just can't make heads or tails of it. None of this adds up. It doesn't even have a wiki page. Does this game exist? My favorite thing about the box is how the final bullet point lists some of the special costume items you can win, like vampire teeth, big ears, and even funky dreads. Why did they write it like that? Are dreadlocks more unbelievable than vampire teeth? Okay, time to line my body up with the camera. Yep, this looks fine.
That way.
Now, maybe it's because this game was made by Namco. Maybe it's because it's a rhythm game, which are already really fun on EyeToy to begin with and work properly. Whatever the reason, I had really high expectations for this game. It just looked really cool. I thought it was going to be a new PS2 hidden gem for me.
Is it bad?
However, it wasn't. Here is my handle. Here is my spout.
I'm at least happy to report that Rhythmic Star does work and it has a decent soundtrack of licensed music, even if they are covers. But that's where my happiness peaks. This is probably the worst rhythm game I've ever played in my life because I swear to God it makes no sense. I tried to understand it. I played this for a good 30 to 45 minutes, but look at my face. This is not a man having a nice PlayStation. The idea is that you hit the stars as the symbols reach them in time with the music. Really pushing the boat out there. But the thing is, every other EyeToy rhythm game like this has notes appearing from the middle so that your hands can work with your brain in HR and move your body towards where they're heading in time with the music. It's easy to see what the dual notes are, the alternating notes, the long notes, and your brain can fill the gaps in on when the timing of the next few notes may appear to get you into the swing of everything. But with Rhythmic Star, I can't even make out when the beats are across the symbols. Not just because it's very unclear, but because each colored note heads towards their stars at completely different speeds. And 50% of the notes aren't in rhythm with the beat itself, because at random points you're hitting notes in time with the drum beat, then you're timing notes around the vocal line, then you're following the guitar solo at the same time as the backing vocal shouts from the crowd, then you're following the drum beat on the first and third beat, and then suddenly swapping to the second and fourth off beat with no indication, and you're figuring all of this out while following two totally different lines of beats on your left and right arm, with all these notes going to different stars at totally different speeds. I don't know what the idea was supposed to be, and I wish I could play you a part of the game with the music so you could see what I'm trying to say, but I can't because of copyright, which should really be called copy-wrong. After 25 minutes or so, I did eventually manage to get some kind of hang of it. I wanted to figure out how it worked, but it still wasn't fun. I have to ignore the flow of the music and just concentrate hard on where the hell these Christmas tree toppers are going, and if the slow yellow ones are in the center yet or are just hanging outside the hot tub with their feet in it. So to summarize, Namco made this in Japan and then left it in Europe. Nowhere else. We must have given them a bad trade deal. Fill me up, butter boy, fill me up, don't fill my cup. Here is a star with a monobrow. What would you do if I told you that Phoenix Games, the people who made this, and this, and this, made an EyeToy game? And with that new information, what would you then do if I told you that the name of that game is more unbelievable than the fact it even exists in the first place?
That sounds bad.
Clumsy Shumsy for the EyeToy is probably as obscure as my collection could possibly get. A European-only, EyeToy-only PS2 motion game made by the same people who made Finkel's World. The screenshots on the back don't even have people in them. The only thing EyeToy does is show people on your screen, and yet Clumsy Shumsy on EyeToy has no screenshots of people on screen.
Okay, so we just literally booted up Clumsy Shumsy on PS2.
I hate that name so much.
They've given me warning text that is invisible because of my walls. I don't know. Let's continue and hope for the best. Yes.
Clumsy Shumsy. Clumsy Shumsy is a collection of 8 minigames, all of which begin without explaining anything you're supposed to do or why you should care.
Player 1, get ready to do something. We're not going to tell you what.
All the while, it expects you and your children, no less, to fit in this outline.
Who's built like this? I need to get like what?
And by the way, you get to look at this in every single loading screen. Who the hell is this runt? And why did they add extra graphic and shading detail to his roll pouch? Take, for instance, the quintessential game of this collection, Lost Shumsies, a game where no Shumsies are lost, you don't need to find them, you blow them all up instead, and then you realise this is a 2-player only game, despite me already telling the game I'm 1 player on my own, because look at this packet of crisps, nobody's gonna come over to see me.
Clumsy options, Shumsy credits.
And what are the mini-games, pray tell? Exactly what you'd expect.
Hey kids, have you ever wanted to play Simon Says with air on your PlayStation 2? Well, we've got the game for you. It's called Clumsy Shumsy, and it stars your aunt after she got hit by a big old...
I didn't know that was the
Give Clumsy
creature.
Shumsy this, though. A few of the games work. So overall, Clumsy Shumsy is exactly the kind of game you'd expect from the same company that came up with the idea for a game called
Get ready to burn in hell. Yep, I'm way ahead of you, buddy. I would rather do that right now. What did you say? Are you saying Clumsy Shumsy shave your bum hair? What did you say?
Aw, how cute. EyeToy. You think you're so great, don't you? Yeah?
Sorry.
Well, I've got an EyeToy. It's really fun for your eye. Let me show you how it works.
Matt, come back here. It's okay. Matt, I just need to talk to you. It gets to your eye. Up is not jump, more like eye is not toy.
Oh boy, we're back in the EyeToy Kinetic cinematic universe. Get ready, mates. It's EyeToy Kinetic Combat. The Spanish version of this game is very special because it isn't just combat, it's total combat, which makes me mad that we got an incomplete combat. And while I'm on one, Spain didn't just get EyeToy Kinetic either. They got EyeToy Kinetic Total Fitness. Why did we miss out, England? Until I saw these games, I didn't realize that if I ever wanted to learn how to fight somebody, all I've got to do is get fit first and then stand the other way. Fun fact, I don't own any promotional press copies of games. They're usually a bit... Yeah, but there is one that I do own now, and it's for EyeToy Kinetic Combat of all things. And when filming this bit, I hadn't opened it yet, so I was super excited.
You know, the modern games, they tend to have a lot of really cool shit in them, along with the game, obviously. So yeah, you've got the game, and then you've got the lens adapter, I think that is. Yep, that's that there. But yeah, modern games tend to have a lot of stuff in with the promo so that they can share good social media shit, and retro games like this one don't have anything else in them other than the disc, and that's it. I like my life as a carpenter. There's nothing I'd rather be. I've had my tools so many long years, they're all good friends to me.
Okay, everyone, time to set your wide-angled Ring doorbell up on top of the TV. Just make sure you've got enough space in whatever house you live in to see every single part of your body with no other objects around you. You know, like this lady, who lives in a house that we can all relate to. This is the everyman of houses. And if you don't have a house perfectly tailored to the fitness program, then you're just a pleb who probably looks like this. You want to hear the saddest part, though?
Yes.
This is exactly the same game as EyeToy Kinetic, and I will not have any slag tell me otherwise. The only difference here is that you've got more ways to play all the different fitness games because you aren't committed to a weekly schedule, but it's still the same kind of idea, just with more murdering endangered panthers. The biggest issue, though, is that it really does require that you play the game not from your house, but from an empty jet plane hangar, because there is no reliable way to punch and kick in a regular-sized space. Oh yes, we're kicking on EyeToy now, and it only took 22 games to get here. They want you to be proper and accurate to the teachings, but how are you supposed to do that when the best camera position you can get can't reach your feet and makes your target 1/3 of the size of you? You're so tall, they don't measure you in feet, they measure you in legs. And when it works, it is impressive how accurate it is, granted, but when you're screamed at to punch, kick, and avoid attacks by moving as quickly as you can, it's just not feasible in a British house. It became easier for me to stop listening to the angry trainer and just stay hunched over. Hey, it worked, and I don't see you making it work, so who's the laughing stock now, hey?
Psst, over here. Do you want to buy a wife?
Oh. Are you stuck in that position?
What's next?
Poor Caddy.
Ready now.
I guess it was only inevitable, but I'm surprised it happened so late anyway. Here is EyeToy Play Sports.
They don't look happy.
And And at very, very first, I thought I was in for a grey day, because in the one-player menu, I could see only 2 games to play. Very clever, EyeToy Plays Sports. 1 game less, and you would have to call yourself EyeToy Plays Sport. Luckily, though, my fears were put to rest as soon as I booted up this golf game and realised that you have to win minigames to win golf. And then my fears came flooding back once I saw what they did to my lovely face. So yeah, what you actually do in this one-player golf game is choose whether or not you want a hard minigame for a longer shot or an easy minigame for a weaker shot. Risk versus reward. And I say minigame, but honestly, this is more micro games. It's EyeToy WarioWare. There's no time to rest, the games change up every few seconds and they barely last 10 to 30 seconds on their own before you make your next move. So take aim, jump up, and bowl over. Catch the baseball, serve the tennis ball, save the goals, bounce the ball,
You
break
okay,
the sticks,
Caddy?
avoid the sticks, string the racket, hang the gliding, spot the correct horse that won the race, do the math. Alright, no time to stop here, so get off your pudgy ass and move it. Come on, let's go. That McDonald's isn't gonna shift itself. You've gotta go, go, go.
That's a nice looking McDonald's.
Oh, don't go in there. If you want variety, then this is the EyeToy game to go for. It's everything that made the other in-house developed EyeToy games fun and working, but now with much more to do and in much more manageable bites. Can we just take another second to notice how surprisingly well this thing works despite being 20 years old? I'm sorry, I don't want to say that I was right, but I was right. This thing is better than Kinect so far. It works better and the games are more fun. Yeah, I'll die on this hill. The only things that make it worse are when people don't know how to make a game. It's not the camera's fault. After all these years of neglect and fading from memory, the EyeToy is legit really good for the time and is still pretty fun now. There's nothing it can do at this point to make me not. Bob the Builder was released on the EyeToy in 2007 alongside BioShock and Halo 3. Are we ready, everybody? Bob the Building. He's a building. Bob the Building. Oh no! This game was made by Blast, who, if you know your PS2, should be a very familiar name to you for their vast library of games that 99% of which are the worst reviewed on the entire console. And now they've got hold of your kids. And you wouldn't think that the game would need much of an explanation, but Blast Entertainment certainly disagree, because here you have a manual thick enough to explain the basics of Magic the Gathering, just in case you need to learn the best hand possible for laying plywood and bricks. What is the necessity for this? This isn't D&D, it's B&B. Building and Bobs. Right, so we've got splash animations, we've got Blast, we've got Hit Entertainment, and we've got the Bob the Builder logo, and we've got... Dark days have fallen on the Bob household.
Warning, Bob the Builder uses an autosave feature. Is that what's written on his contracts before he gets a job? But just be careful, everybody. Bob uses an autosave feature.
Just in case it wasn't clear, this game is for young children. And because of that, I have to do one of 2 things. Cut my legs off, or point the camera at the ceiling to pretend that I am one. Okay, sorted. So what now? Should we hang out with T-Pose the Scarecrow? Should we wake up Bob before he runs down a deer? Or should we begin the game, where the story is all about that one time Bob had a seizure on the building site? At the absolute least, though, it is good to know that you can use all of the training you learn during the game to trade in your high scores for a real-life construction diploma. Let's begin the story mode then, and the story is that we are a builder and we're building a house. So naturally, the first mission is to catch fish.
I've promised her that we'll catch it.
Yeah, alright, yeah, I'll wave over the fish to
This is a pretty unfair place to begin, if you ask me. What kind of back-end stab alley school did we come out of that the first thing they expect builders to do is angling? Welcome everyone to day 1 of training on how to be a doctor, and the very first thing I want you to do is a backside 180 tray flip off this man's head. Make sure you don't grab the trash though. That's not a fish, that's a boot, and it goes back in the water where it belongs. Taking it away is stealing. After all of that, you then get a cutscene going off into the next mission, showing off Bob and his wife's reptile telepathy.
Great! I love sports.
But he needs to know if you can start right away.
Don't worry. I'll go back now and speak to him. The others can follow along.
So yeah, if it wasn't obvious, the next logical step of a builder's life after fishing at 6 AM is then quad biking through the countryside and driving into fallen trees.
Okay, that one hurt a bit.
Oh, did it, baby?
This game is exactly the same as that SpongeBob driving one from ages ago, but the thing driving moves slower.
Check me out.
Shit me out!
which then makes the game harder and slower. So, screw me, right?
We made it! Sunflower Valley rocks!
Why is that
Who
the
decided
voice?
that should be the voice of a quad bike?
Another cutscene plays here, and this is where I decided off camera to expose my fiance to the eldritch horrors of the modern CG Bob the Builder remake.
So have you seen the CG one?
No.
Oh
actually,
my,
no.
look it up on your phone.
I don't know if I want to.
Oh, I want you to. Remember I told you to look up what a Sibian was? Well, now I'm telling you to look up CG Bob the Builder.
Yeah.
It's just as bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right?
Why is he all like normal sized?
Yeah, he's a regularly proportioned man. He's gone from Bob the Builder to Bob a Builder.
The next minigame is washing cars. Very important building work.
This is how most of our jobs start off.
Most of your jobs start off apparently by doing some fishing and quad biking. What are you talking about? We're on like level 6. When are we going to do some actual construction work? Like he's doing and loving it. Loving life. My name's Bob. I love my job.
The next step in the building process is then not building, as all of the farm vehicles have decided to steal everyone else's supplies, and it's our job to sort it all out and swap around planks of wood and cement.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, you should be. Bastard.
You know, what's the point of your kids wasting their time doing all of this when you can just send them outside and have them do it for real? By the way, where the hell is Bob, the man who the game is named after? I saw him one time ages ago, and it was when he was quad biking away from everybody. I think he realized that was more fun than bricklaying. Is the story mode a psychological exploration of Bob's midlife crisis? Sadly, there's no time to think about that though, because we finally, after all this time, get to do some building.
Yes.
By scaring crows out of a field. By the way, he says he just needs help because he can't do this alone, but then the whole time you're doing this, he doesn't do piss.
Why aren't you doing anything?
Spud's on the job.
Tell your friends Spud's in the market for another job. He has qualifications.
And so now, after all this nosing around, we can finally... Bob. We're doing building, people! We're doing building!
Huzzah.
Yeah, let's go!
It's time to put some steel girders down. Yeah, and that's not all. The most exciting bit is yet to come.
The next stage is laying the bricks for the walls.
Yeah!
But I've spent the first year of my construction university course being wicked on a bike and fishing. How do I lay the bricks? I checked thoroughly through Bob the Bible and I couldn't figure it out.
Here's Wendy and Scoop to show you how it's done.
Why can't you?
Oh, that's how you do it.
This is one of my favourite jobs, and also one of the most important. Without floors, we'd all be standing around in the cellar.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Putting the floor down is very important because if you don't have a floor, then you'd fall in through the floor.
Good job.
Good jobby. What a fine jobby that was. Bob the jobby. Can he lift it? Bob the jobby. He's got a bag.
The building is over now. It's time to clean up and get out of there before the feds arrive. So make sure you're quick and follow the imitation cut-out cardboard Bob as he drops all the rubbish out the windows.
I'll move in that direction. Make sure I'm directed.
Please do it quickly. I don't have long. Bob! Why did you give me sentience, Bob? Why couldn't you drive the bloody digger? Why did I get in, Bob? Yeah!
It was also during this particular minigame that I had an epiphany on the lore of Bob the Builder.
Oh, I noticed, honey, just now.
Yeah.
Bob the Builder's theme tune, right? It's Bob the Builder, can we fix it, right? They never ask, can they build it? And I know that sounds like a bit of a nitpicky thing to say, but if all they do is fix stuff, does that mean that they build it poorly and they have to fix it, all the shit that they end up building? Who was the builder before Bob?
And with that, the story mode is complete. So what was the story? We did a day's work and 20% of it was building. That was the story. But like all great stories, there's a sequel. And so we move on to Bob the Builder 2, Potholes. Yes, we're not quite done yet because Blast wants us to fill in more than 10 potholes of the village roads in less than a minute before we leave the game and never come back. And I know that sounds excessive, but I lived in a village for 11 years and this is the most accurate depiction of real British life I've ever seen in a video game, including the cement mixer with eyes.
Once I fill the pothole in, they'll never find the body.
Caddy uses
We got 3 stars, you bitch. And that's it. The whole game is finished. In 19 minutes. And what's your reward for all of that hard work and cup of soup lunches in the van while reading The Sun?
Sing along now, as loudly as possible.
Okay.
Ironically, he tells me to sing along as loud as possible, and then they play the theme song, which is then like 10 decibels quieter than the rest of the game, and I can't hear it. It's also worth mentioning that the theme song is the only background music of every minigame in the story, just at different speeds. And the full vocal theme you get as a reward at the very end of the game is the same full vocal theme you get at the very beginning of the game on the main menu. Unexpected item in bagging area.
As a quick aside for a second, do you want to see how little the demand for EyeToy was by the time this lad came along? I got this game, brand new, sealed, for £3.99. And that was not the only one. Monkey Mania, Anti-Grav, Spy Toy, Clumsy Shumsy, Kinetic Combat, and now this were all sealed with the original PS2 plastic and were mostly all dirt cheap. The thought that there is just a warehouse somewhere filled with unsold sealed copies of Bob the Builder on EyeToy is enough to keep me awake at night, but I'd rather think about that than hear that theme song again. Build the Bobder. He's not built yet. Build the Bobder. How do we do it? Okay then, we're coming up to the last handful of games made for the EyeToy now, and man, I wish I could say that it didn't feel like it. Thomas the Tankin Dankin. But be warned, don't you think about selling it separately now. They're watching you.
Personally, I can't wait, because the back of the box is telling me the main goal of the game is to get safely home to a shed, so sign me up. Choo-choo.
Chugga, chugga, chugga,
Roger
chugga.
knee, Thomas.
Hey, you know what kids like? Ice cream, Happy
Yes.
Meals,
Yes.
the Wiggles, eating stones, and videos with no background music of a train with a face.
Thomas had never won a prize before, but he was determined for that to change.
What's the music?
I don't know, this is a very lonely game.
Alright, fair enough, so I gotta put myself in this outline so that the game can see nothing but my forehead.
Why is the fat controller not shaded?
What?
Well, he's not shaded. Look, he's just like a 3D modelled shape.
And shortly after losing your mind over Roblox Fat Controller, you get your first task of this train racing game.
The engine's faces are all mixed up. Can you put the right faces on? Sorry,
Okay.
everyone, said the fat controller. I tore off Thomas's face. And then I lost it. Can you help us, giant baby? Hiding behind the shed.
And just when you think it couldn't get any weirder...
Right, which face?
But don't worry, if you can't remember beat for beat which face belongs to which coloured steam train because you have a mortgage, it doesn't matter, because the game just tells you what face to choose. You win.
The story is that we're a train, we left the shed, and then our face fell off.
Next up, we've got to paint all of the engines because some unforeseen force ripped their skin off from 5 minutes ago. It's a paint game. You paint. Go nuts, Da Vinci.
2, they're 4, they're 6, they're 8. Shouting violence, lots of hate. Red and green and brown and blue. They don't care, they're after you.
Okay then, so the next thing we got to do in this racing game is go and get a load of coal.
Can you
Yeah,
help
okay.
load up Thomas with enough coal for the... Wave your hand over the pulley.
Can you help load up Thomas?
Ah, well, at least if we're not literally racing in this racing game yet, the train should be racing to get his jobs done before it, right?
Oh,
That is slow.
this is why we don't use tank engines anymore. Where's Thomas the Japanese bullet train? Is that really what we're doing?
Hopefully the quality will jump back up as we head over to the Play series again with EyeToy Play Astro Zoo, the first game I've ever seen that confirms my belief that children are animals. And I'm sure you're asking the same question that I was. What is an Astro Zoo? I know. Oh, okay, so it's a zoo in space. And the story is that that's a bad idea. So you've been sent up to fix it and stop the animals from suffocating and being sucked through a hole in the ship. This is yet another EyeToy play game. It's the 5th one made by the same people. So you know it's going to work well, but you also know what kind of games to expect. You know that you'll get points for beating the shit out of a squirrel. It's par for the course at this point. What's that? We've got to squeeze a satellite out of a choking snake? Yep, nothing out of the ordinary here. Oh, don't worry about me. I'm just spanking the dangly bit of a shark. Just another Monday. I love Mondays. Quick, run after the crocodile before he gets into the captain's cockpit and eats his cockpit off.
Wow, how lucky am I? It's a brand new day, and there's no more EyeToy games for me to play. Uh-oh, I forgot! There's an EyeToy game in the sea!
EyeToy Play Hero. The first game I've ever seen that can swim, and also a game about a little boy who's holding a sword like this. Are you attacking someone with a sword or stirring cheese? And that's not the only odd thing going on. Look at the box the game comes with. What on earth is in here? A rolling pin. What cool stuff is in this box? Well, an EyeToy camera, the game, a sword.
Back up a second. This box has a sword in it. No, it doesn't. It's tiny. God, if you manage to get a full-size sword into this box, then my name is... The box didn't say it came with the boy.
And as it turns out, I was right. Here's the sword. How much more uselessly miniature could you be? This isn't a sword, it's a toothbrush. Well, hey, at least it looks kind of cool, and it glows in the dark.
It's alright though, I do get it. You give a monkey an axe and suddenly you're in a wheelchair. You don't want to give an excited child a giant club to swing around.
Yeah.
So with that being said, why is it that this foam sword that bends smacks shit harder than a snooker ball in a sock? This can do... Ow.
Don't have any green objects on screen, don't wear green clothes, and don't play in overexposed light in a green tinted room. Oh no, the Black Knight has invaded, the food is gone, and the villagers have gone feral. But don't worry, because if anyone can help us, it's Caddy, the frumpy knight. And he has a magic sword, which you don't know how to use, so you're guided along by this gentleman.
That no-good warlock imprisoned me in here to help him steal all the stones of Illustria.
And I don't want to make judgments about this guy or start throwing around accusations without any evidence, but let's just say his favorite part of Leon the Professional is Natalie Portman. This magic sword, by the way, for all intents and purposes, is a lightsaber. So if any of you out there felt like your hopes were dashed by Star Wars Kinect, well then get this game because it's 10 times better, 10 times more responsive, and you're holding a physical object you can swing around like a true hero.
Those kids think they are pretty cute.
I knew it. Sure, there's a little bit of lag, and yes, this is an entire game just about swinging a sword and holding it in certain positions. But goddamn, it's a game about swinging a sword and holding it in certain positions that works great and makes you feel really sad. What more do you need? There's duels, there's horse riding while cutting down trees, there's arrow guarding, there's apples. You know, aside from the... This is yet another well-made EyeToy play game. If you want to take anything away from this video today, at the very least know that if it says EyeToy Play on the box, then it is part of that series.
But you know what you can do to make it better?
Huh?
Attach the game bundle box to the sword to make it longer.
Okay.
You know what's even better than that? Another sword.
2.
And another box.
You know, Snap was never the same after the Rice Krispie Wars.
And with that, we've made it. The final game ever made for the PS2 EyeToy before it stopped having games made for it.
If there is one thing that EyeToy Play Pom Pom Party proves above anything else, it's that I'm not funny. Which I already knew, but now it's an indisputable fact, because this game, not only being the final EyeToy exclusive release before it bit the dust, but also coming out the same year as GTA 4, Metal Gear Solid 4, and Dead Space, is a joke that I am just unable to make up myself. It's also one of the most progressive games of the time, not because of all the race inclusions on the box, but all the species inclusions. You've got girl, fish, 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 and fish. That's not the only interesting thing about it either, for deep within the kitchen sink U-bend copper piping box is not only the game, but 2 EyeToy branded cheerleading pom-poms, which are now unironically the coolest things I probably own right now.
My name's Savannah.
Girl, you're my B.A.B. Say once, say twice, you're my queen, honey. I'm ready, I'm steady, you know I'm good to go. I'm slicker than your average, no one ever says no. My
You're my number one for the things you've done for me.
Oh crap! It's the Rozzers! No! Wait, no, stop! Just end game. Stop filming me. Quit. Why? You're not quitting. I need you to quit. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. I can like this stuff. It's fine. Look, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not hurting anyone. See? Look, I don't need. Look, see this box here? Don't need it. See? Check this out. Watch this go. I'm not the one with the problem. You're the one with the problem. You think this is weird? Well, you know, there's no box anymore. Like, what are you gonna do to me? With that, no evidence, there's no trial.
Run, Caddy, run.
So even though for the majority, this modest little PS2 camera kind of fell over and died and farted on your mum, its legacy and impact can't be understated, especially for just silly, fun, casual console games. By 2008, it sold over 10 million units. It predated the Wii and Kinect. I can confidently say it does work more consistently than Kinect does at least, and it needs to be remembered if for no other reason than how fun it is to experience Sega soup. We have been through its entire sordid catalogue, and even though I do find it sad how most American friends of mine either barely remember it or just don't know what it is at all, I'm happy at least knowing that when I was a kid, 90% of people I knew of were talking about it or owned it. It's such an odd anomaly, not only of PS2 history, but video game history as a whole, especially for the region differences. It also lasted way longer than you'd expect. If you wanted to, you could even use this blurry old minger for taking pictures in the original Little Big Planet for PS3.
Wow.
I built my own level with it.
Please don't say the level was his face.
And that's not all. I mean, look at how the first PSVR worked for PS4. To track where the headset was, it used the PlayStation camera, which was an update of the PS3 PlayStation Eye, which was an update of the PS2 EyeToy. EyeToy, Eye, camera. Why did they gouge it out? I'm so sorry you lost your eye, PlayStation. It's okay, I've learned to live without it. I've got other ways of knowing you're there anyway. Oh yeah? Like what? Oh no! It's the PlayStation nose! Subscribe.
Stan, if a pregnant woman goes swimming, she is a submarine.
Okay, that was actually funny. That was funny. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I miss reacting to Caddy. Turn that down. Maybe? Oh man, I do miss my eardrum. I miss doing the reactions for you guys. But no, this was hilarious. I'm glad that this video was super funny for me to try and get back into it. Will I make this a more regular thing? I know the next 3 weeks at work is going to be very hectic because of graduation and whatnot, so I'm not sure. Hopefully I could get another video video out. I can talk, I promise, in at least... See, I don't want to make promises though. Hopefully in 2 weeks. No promises, don't quote me on that. Please don't quote me on that. But yeah, I will try to get another video out from someone, or just do a cartoon reaction of sorts, whether it's Pokemon, Legend of Zelda, Fanimation, Sonic Fanimation, something. I will try to get something out. Ignore me. I'm thinking right now. But thank you guys for this recommendation. I'm glad for it. It was really fun. Really, really fun. But until next time, take care, loves. Bye-bye.